yourself. But what I'm also trying to say is like, part of it is that the external environment is cooked, and that's not really helping anything. If you are, worried that you can't afford health insurance to get an operation, that's already like creating its own disease within itself. And we're pawns to big pharma. We are pawns to insurance companies. We are pawns to big sugar. We are pawns to tobacco companies. We're pawns to alcohol companies, weed companies even. Like we can have some medical benefits, yeah, but if you're getting way too high, you can start to trigger some mental illness because you're just getting so crazy you can't really handle it. You don't know what planet you're on anymore. It's fun for a little bit, but then you end up like Jack Nicholson in The Shining. So we are pawns for them to just profit off of this.
Therapists make.
And women are too, but I wanted to make it more about men.
Please drop a like if you think that most therapists are just milking clients, and comment down below what you think.
Because this is what it's all about, right? Motherfucking cock-sucking money. Yeah.
So it's no wonder that TikTok is absolutely flooded with people telling you need therapy.
Mm-hmm. You need life coaches and stuff. And a lot of these life coaches, they're like, well, I found myself getting, but same with these sobriety recovery people. They've only been sober a year, yet they're telling you how to live and everything. But like their new high is kind of helping other people, I guess, which is not, it's not a bad thing, but I don't really know how I want to elaborate on it. Let's make sure we keep the chats up here. Most of them come on. I'm not sure what that was referring to. Doctor is one of the favorite career choices for psychopaths. They like to control you. Yes, they do, for sure. It's their ego. It's their vanity. They can clearly, I mean, look at our doctors. Are we a healthy nation? No. And look at our doctors, psychologists, psychiatrists, hospital managers, public health officials, RFK. RFK hasn't done dick. Remember RFK is Make America Healthy Again. He's gonna get the red 40 out of all the drinks and do all this stuff, and you're gonna have organic food. He's gonna hold Nestle accountable and shit like that. Get out of here. He's probably making money off of those. Yeah, Evil Eddie is really talented at all this. I didn't all the credit goes to him. I didn't tell him to like make this or say like, oh, like let's make sure it says this or something like that. So he gets all the credit for it.
And what a coincidence. They all just happened to sell that.
I'm a therapist who just got out of therapy.
Also, too, another problem is when men view each other as pawns, or just, I guess in a capitalistic society, you do view each other as pawns because like, well, I got to get mine. I don't really care if you get yours. So a lot of times people will not give good advice, either by design or just by gatekeeping. Why? Because, well, if I have you get ahead, that might take from me. In some cases, that might really be true. If I have another tree company in my area and I am, I don't know, giving them good advice or something like that, they may start taking my customer. You know what I mean? Like that's kind of how it works. That's kind of what the Freemasons do. Freemasons, maybe have some esoteric knowledge, but it's also kind of a boys' club. So when you go to the golf course, you get to talk to so-and-so and you get all the accounts for I don't know, your gutter cleaning business. You get all of a sudden you can get like 100 customers if you're, in the inner club. That's how a lot of stuff functions. And they want to keep that amongst themselves to give themselves a competitive advantage. These things happen all the time. So sometimes people will give you really bullshit advice because they want to protect their position. They want to gatekeep. They want to, sometimes holding someone else down does keep them at the level that they are, so they don't lose anything. Being sent upstate to the loony bin was a death sentence. People used to be afraid of being labeled crazy. Yeah. Well, another thing too that comes with the mental health too is we live in an inverted, crazy society. Sometimes if someone calls you a loser in this society or crazy, it actually could be considered a compliment. It's like, well, if they're eating kids and stuff like that, I'm kind of glad I'm not succeeding. That's what I'm saying. Like, sociopaths tend to succeed more, be CEOs and stuff like that, because they're like, well, I do view people as pawns. That's what they're saying. They're like, we need you to view people as pawns. This helps. That's like, that's winning. We don't care if there's a bunch of people being deleted en masse on another part of the world. I don't care. I care about selling my scam or my crypto thing. That's all I care about. I don't care if someone dies right next to me. Doesn't bother me. I don't care if there's a bunch of homeless people in the streets near me. I have a mansion. I don't care if there's someone homeless right out in front of it. I really don't care. As long as they're not in my gate, I don't give a damn. And that in itself is crazy. So when people become more conscious or spiritually aware, they can actually go crazy because they start to see a lot of lies. They start to see stuff that their brain gets scrambled. They start to become so aware that, there is a lot of evil in the world, and you start connecting dots and seeing it more where you go. Like when you, like as an example, some people who are labeled this way, they walk into a grocery store, they don't just see like stuff on the shelf. They see boxes of chemicals. They see poison. They see tainted. When they see a beef patty, they see like tainted GMO retarded cow meat that is like from some weird satanic kind of slaughterhouse place. You know what I'm saying? So part of it, the society starts to cook people's brains on its own. This is a thing that boomers never understood. So they don't think of it that way. They don't care if the world's burning on the way out.
And as a therapist in therapy.
Is it normal to go to therapy every week? I'm a therapist, so let me tell you, it is
Of course she's going to say that. You need the weekly money.
totally normal to go to therapy every single week.
But before we dive into this,
No, it's not. Well, here's another thing too. With these women and people, they're like, my healing journey. If it's always a journey, you're not healed. This is part of the new age, new cage, almost subscription-based bullshit. You're not healed. You're not healing. You didn't cure it. You didn't heal it. You didn't really fix it. You're just putting Band-Aids, medication, and appointments on it. You just say, I'm doing the work. I'm going to therapy. Well, if you've been going to therapy for like over a year, you kind of should start to be getting better. You know what I mean? Like, ultimately, you should be like, well, I'll give an example. This is something a little bit different. Like I kind of like messed up my back from snowboarding and a few things. And I did a bunch of yoga classes for a while. and it actually helped me. But then I didn't continue doing it because it's like, well, I healed it. I'm good. You know, I could do it to maintain it. Yes. But I was like, I healed it. I'm good. I don't need to keep doing this anymore. When I have another problem, or if it comes back, I'll take care of it then. So the healing journey, they're just maintaining, they're bailing out the sinking ship and plugging it up with something shitty. They're not rebuilding the hull, I guess. Let's see here. No therapy is subjective. What does this say? A good overseer can't have compassion for his slaves. Yes. And not only that, Clayton, not only that, here's part of the other problem with the whole boss babe, boss culture. I'm a CEO. I'm a boss and all that. Most slaves, I think this is actually, I don't know if this is a Native American or a Greek saying, but most slaves don't want freedom. They merely want their own slaves. That's kind of what we live in now. People are happy to have a company with all these people working what? Under them. They feel they're so, I have all these people working under me. Sometimes these companies that have a lot of people, yeah, they have people under you, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you're that good at what you're doing. Per se, it's just, it can be a facade sometimes. Like when we went over that thing of bullshit jobs, that's one of the things that people like. They have lackeys and people that will go get them coffee and do some very low level stuff, and they wanted to keep them around because it made them feel more important, and it made their job title seem more important because they, quote, had to manage people below them. No, I did not wear yoga pants. Corey Richins, for example, that deleted her wealthy husband with fentanyl. I think a large majority of women are just like, maybe, yeah. We're living in a sociopathic. We're living in a society of sociopathy, basically, and they want you to be this way. This helps. You think Bezos and all these people, you know, view you as a person? No, you are a number at best. And like I said, this too, the average suburban person views Mexicans this way as well. They do. We don't call them people. We just call them Mexicans. It's not right. It's not right. And I do that too. I use that label, but I want to change how I look at people.
Messed up and corrupt world that is therapy and anxiety medication, I must make a few things very clear. First up, 99% of therapists are absolute clowns who don't know what the hell they're doing, and you should never let them work on your mental health.
If you're feeling anxious too, you can pop along with me. Even
though what do we have here? Butterfly tattoo. Cooked. Never take any advice from someone with a butterfly tattoo. Death skulls around her. No.
I am feeling anxious. And I'm frustrated at myself for feeling this way. You don't get anxious. This is not the whole I do. I know that anxiety is not actually.
So what she's doing, she's not hitting herself. This is called EFT, emotional freedom technique. And what that's trying to do is basically like tap into the nervous system to get the emotion out, like I was kind of saying earlier. And that some of that might work actually.
Yep, she's an actual therapist with paying clients, but we'll get to her in a sec. Because second, therapy is mostly a pseudoscience that only in very specific
pseudo science
situations and for very specific cases can actually help to treat people, but only when it's done by solid experts with decades of experience.
I just went to my first therapy session because the demons finally won. I found this girl, we jumped in a call, and I really liked her. Like, we got along immediately. And
So they also want a friend. Women with therapy want a friend who usually will just gaslight and reaffirm what she is doing. Sometimes men need a friend. Some men are really lonely. Like they maybe have some friends, but do you have one really good friend that you can tell something to, who will help you do something when you need it, who actually knows sort of how you think and stuff. You only need one or two really good friends like that. And it outweighs, 7 shitty ones, or, surface level ones. Women kind of want just a friend who will gaslight them. Like, listen to what she's saying. She's like, oh, I really liked her. We clicked. We're having fun.
And then it wasn't until the next day that I looked her up. I did some research and I found out that she was 23.
Classic. And 3, most importantly, in order to be an effective therapist and provide real benefits to clients, you actually need to be an exceptional human being with an extraordinary mind, which is
and have a lot of wisdom. A therapist should be considerably older than you because they've lived more life. Like, I would say, replace therapist with mentor. Possibly even someone within your same industry or something like that. And it's got to be holistic. So here's another thing. They can address the mental health, but sometimes in order to address the mental health, you got to work on the physical health, what you're eating, shit like that. Is your money okay? Can you start to save some money? Can you start to not spend it on something stupid? Things like that. How are you spending your free time? So I would say like a mentor is better than somebody who is paid to just be, quote, a mental health professional. And there might be some very good like therapists. But remember, a therapist is someone who has been heavily indoctrinated to treat everything the way that they have been told to treat it. Through that DCIM thing, that mental health, it's basically like a mental health Bible. So they are through an indoctrinated system, and a lot of mental health is starting to see how cooked the system is and having to digest that and live within it. Almost like that Gnostic gnosis, basically. Once you start getting that, you start to see you don't, I guess, vibe with the culture as your operating system. Like, part of this is the culture is your operating system. Let's read Equilibrium. This is like a new religion where you need to confess to the priest, your therapist, in order to be absolved by your sin monthly. Yes, exactly. Exactly. And that's part of what a priest used to do and be. Priest, pastor, rabbi, whatever. That's part of what it would be. And this is where Catholicism is cooked and always has been cooked for a while, because I'll speak for that because I was raised Catholic. And I would see a lot of people who would just go and confess, and they kind of would just, the confession is mostly to get it off your mind. It's not so much because you sinned. It's mostly to get it off of your mind so you can either do it again or kind of sleep better. It's not. So it would kind of work as up, but Equilibrium is 100% right. Yeah. Hey, if you guys start paying, I'll put my clam on the street. So if you guys start paying, I don't give a shit anymore. So get up this one from here, from Equilibrium again. Yeah. So Equilibrium is 100% right. And it's twofold Equilibrium. Why? Because they say same thing like when we see the women on TikTok doing the debt recovery thing. And it's kind of fake because they're saying like, well, I'm admitting it, so I'm taking, therefore it's the first step to taking responsibility. So they're saying like, I'm admitting I'm an alcoholic, now I can start recovering it, but I need a round of applause for just admitting it and stuff like that. That's kind of like what they're doing. So they're going out cheating, doing this promiscuous behavior and stuff, and doing a fake accountability. Like they're saying like admitting I did it absolves it from going away, absolves it. And it's like, no, that's not really healing. It's kind of like actually like reaffirming the shitty behavior because there's not any shame or corrective action toward it. Let's also see what also, if you don't do therapy, you're seen as someone broken or even dangerous, like how they view single men as an incel, as if a woman can't be any of the narcissistic things they project as well as the female cell, whatever. Yeah. See how I dropped a bunch of knowledge on there? They didn't know what gnosis is. I said the word hosis. They started looking up like it's real. But that thing that I was talking about, materialism being a god, was pretty powerful. So, and we've been talking about this for a while and understand part of it. So we're ahead of the game here. We got very intelligent people in here. This is a lot of fun. This is almost kind of a philosophy channel. So, let me go back to what Equilibrium is putting. Yeah, but it is like a new religion for them. That's a really good analogy for it. Really good analogy for it. And excuse me. Yeah, Red Door is in here. She just had a birthday recently, so Blade, happy birthday.
Almost never the case.
I want to put this. Equilibrium's point is right on point
For 99% of therapists out there.
I am feeling a little more anxious this evening, so I'm just noticing
Butterfly tattoo again. I think it's the same girl though.
that I had a few minutes.
And that's another reason why do I point out the butterfly tattoo and tell you to look for it? Because it's a external manifestation of their trauma or being a 304. That it's the bumper sticker for it. You know what I'm saying? Like they have these stickers around where I'm from, like this car climbed Mount Washington. For them, it's like this girl got a train ran on her. It's pretty much like that.